Welcome to Sufani's World. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Well, hello everybody, and I tried to go, oops, I'm shaking the camera. I tried to go live, and apparently I can't do that. So for some reason my camera is showing that it is not enabled, even though it is in the settings. So I'll have to figure that out for another day. But I wanted to share with you guys what I'm working on. So I've been working on this. I had an idea to do like a library type of diorama, which if you guys know me, know I love miniatures and I make miniatures a lot. And so I wanted to actually do a diorama, but then it turned into something bigger. So now I'm making it, I kind of did most of the library portion, and I also made all the books myself, and painted the furniture that I had gotten off of eBay. I got a bunch of furniture, a lot of furniture off of eBay. But anyway, so I created the books in the library, but now I'm making it into like this actual full-on house. So I kind of want to share some of that with you guys. I think I'm going to try and adjust this a little bit more because it's not high enough. Okay, so I'm back, and this is the house. So I'm going to show you. You can see right now this is kind of the roof that I'm doing, but I'm going to turn it around and lift it up so you can see inside the actual library portion that I did. And this is done all. The foundation of it is all in cardboard, and so I'm huge in recycling and using things, and so from all of our Amazon purchases, boxes come easy. So I actually created this diorama right here, so I'm going to show you this portion a little closer. I can't really see what I'm doing here, but you can kind of look inside. And then there's this portion right here, which is the top part. Now, I'm going to be adding French doors and a window up there and a fence around it. This is the back section, which will obviously be facing the wall. But that little white thing right there is the lights. I'm having some trouble with this lighting also. So these are like little quirks that come up that you have to resolve. I took some lights that I didn't use. I was gonna do a diorama, like a Christmas one, and I just didn't get inspired to do it. So I took off the Christmas lights that were around the lights, and what I did was I hung them upside down. So I typically don't like to do anything that's typical or normal, and I just have my own little way of doing things, and you know, I create these pieces because they're my own little world that I would want to live in, right? So if it's not a normal color, I don't care. I'm going to do it the way that I want to. And so in order to use these pieces after the fact, had I planned it earlier, I would have, been able to place it in through the back at the bottom and put them just standing up the way they're supposed to. But because I figured it out later that I was going to use these lights, what I did is I cut a perfect hole to fit and drop them down. And so you might be able to see, let me turn this around, where you can see those two little black things with the strings. That's where I dropped them down. So let me get these, let me see if I can get it on. My problem that I'm having is that there's some kind of weird short in it, and so I'm gonna have to at a certain point like fix that problem. Okay, it did turn on for me, so I'm gonna turn it around so you can see. All right, so now you can see. So if you look close, like this book there is of Dali, the artist. You can see the lights that I hung basically upside down. There's a clock. There's like 3 tables that I just kind of hung, and then I'm putting things there. And then also, let me see the angle. Just quirky things. And I'm calling it Cosmic Library because the frames are literally pictures of the cosmos. see this other side here. I made all those library books. There's more books in the rafters. There's a globe and other stuff. There's the picture of Dolly, the book. And so you can see the lights that I just dropped them down. And so what I'm gonna do now is I created, this is the side. I was gonna potentially do it in like cobblestone, but I don't want anything too heavy. And then I just carried the roof part around too. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna just paint the roof black. And I might even add in some blue colors. I don't know, I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do with that. I'm gonna move this a little closer to me. And then I wanna show you something else that I made too that is so cute. I watched somebody on YouTube do a tutorial on how to make their own miniature plants, and I didn't have the same supplies that she had, but it's basically with paper. I used wire from the dollar store, that real thin wire, and paint. Acrylic paint. She used markers. I didn't have any felt tip markers, but I had paint. So I used what I had, and dirt, and I had some, what do you call that? The little rope, you're gonna see it in a minute. I don't know, twine, I guess. Anyway, this is how they turned out. I just think this is like the cutest little, these are so cute. And then inside, you can see that's real dirt, and I just added it to the glue. And then the container is actually I just like kind of flattened out some cardboard and made it malleable, and I just glued it in a circle, glued a circle to the bottom, and then I just kind of wrapped this around and then just added these in one by one and arranged them. And the cool thing is because the backside is wire, right? But I paint the wire green, it looks like a little plant. So I did that one, which is gonna go on the balcony here. And then I also did this other one, but I'm gonna do, I think, some more because I wanna fill this out a little bit more, but the same kind of thing. This one is gonna be, the backside is not gonna be showing. I think next time, I might leave it like this for now, but next time I'll make it a lot fuller when I make other ones. And this is also just paper and paint and wire. So those things are gonna go here on the balcony. And the balcony is gonna have, I should have brought that out here because I'm gonna be painting that, but a little fence and some decorative things that I'm gonna be using. And so I'm gonna shut this off right now. That's the problem with this, it's so hard to turn it on and off. Okay, good, it did turn off. So I'm gonna put this away. And so now I'm just gonna start painting the rooftop, and nothing fancy, but I might after I do all. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I keep doing this because I'm trying not to like show all my boobs here, but that's kind of hard to do. They're big. But anyway, so I'm just gonna go through this, and basically I'm just taking acrylic paint, and I'm just gonna be painting all of this as I go. There's some, can't help but get the strings, you know, there's strings from the, glue. So when you see those, just pull them off, or you can pull them off later. But when you're painting, you kind of want to do it as you go, because you might paint over them, and then when you pull it off, it shows the underside. So as you can see, like all these pieces, what I did is I just cut all these odd shapes. So I had some boxes, and I just started cutting. I didn't trace any or have any predetermined. I like to fly by the seat of my pants. I don't like to have all these preconceived like ideas. I just go with it and let it be whatever it's gonna be. So I cut a bunch of these pieces, and then what you do is you start at the bottom. So you start at the bottom portion, and I let them hang off. So the first thing I did was I created the steeple, right? And the inner piece. that you have to, still, I just cut pieces that looked even, and I took the flaps off of boxes, and that became that. And then I kind of piecemealed the inside, and you can see why I have caulking on there, because the pieces I put in they weren't perfect. So they had some openings, and I just caulked it. All of it's gonna get covered eventually anyway, so it really didn't matter, but I just wanted to seal it up so it was stable. And then what I did was I started gluing from the bottom portion, and I let it hang off slightly, but let some of the underside show, because that's gonna add texture. And I just started randomly layering it and did it all the way up. And I did that same thing on both sides. Now, this inner portion here, just like old Victorian houses, is gonna have some really interesting texture, and I don't know what you call them. It's gonna have some interesting jeweled like pieces, just like those old Victorian houses. And so I'm just gonna be layering upon layers until I feel that it's done. And I already have a shelf that it sits on, and I'm definitely gonna need to get more black paint because we're going out anyway. Although right now it's, I don't know where you're at watching this, but I live in Washington State, and we're getting all the winds from, first of all, we have fires going on here, but we're also getting all the winds from Portland, and Portland is off the charts, the air quality index chart. It's over 300, and 200 is considered unhealthy. And I don't know what the cutoff is, but it becomes hazardous when it's into the mid, I think 250s, and in Portland it's off the charts. So I mean, everybody is told, even here, to stay inside as much as possible. We have some errands to run, and we're wearing a mask. We went to go to McLendon's to get a mask, an N95, because we had masks but not N95. But we went to McLendon's to get an N95, or like a painter's mask that would hopefully block out, the smoke, because the regular masks don't. And of course they were out. So we ordered some online. Those won't come, but the regular mask will just have to do for now. It's required anyway when we go out in public, but I'm looking forward to getting that other mask. It's kind of crazy. It's like you always feel like no matter what you do, you don't have what you need, and there's always a shortage of masks. It's just so weird. This has been a really weird year. It's really wearing on a lot of people. I know it's probably wearing on you too. I keep having to add more paint down here. I'm using this. This used to be an old pan, those pans that go over the burners. When it got old and ugly, I like recycling things. So I'm like, well, I need a painter's pan, so I guess that's its new incarnation. It became a painter's pan. Yeah, so it's hard right now. It's we just went through having to, quarantine because of COVID, and now we're quarantining from smoke, and it's scary too. Like, our power went out, and behind our trees, we live in this beautiful place, and right outside is gorgeous. It's to me and my husband, it's paradise, right? We have ducks and wildlife and stuff, and it's amazing. Well, through the trees, I saw this bright red glow, and it to me looked like burning embers, and that just freaked me out. I was like, oh my God, is there a fire that close? So I made, my husband go with me. We ran outside and went to the back of our property, and when we looked over, it was actually the sun was looked like it was on fire. And it's been like that all week, because I think the lights went out on Monday, and so here we are Sunday, and the air quality got worse today, not better, because of Portland, and also we're getting the winds blowing in from LA, and my daughter lives in LA, and it's just the same thing is going on out there for them. So it's just a scary time. And my boys live in Seattle, and the air quality is horrible there too. So, okay, so we got this one side done. I'm gonna go into those cracks a little bit more. I'll have to turn it away so I can see a little bit better. And I'm gonna use just a smaller brush to kind of get in to those smaller spaces. I had this idea too that I might take this blue color because it kind of matches the cosmic pictures inside. And I don't know, I might add some blue in there just to create kind of this funky thing. Because remember, you know, it can be whatever you want when you create art. You know, I always create the world that I would want to live in, you know, and I don't do regular. I do things that make me happy, and follow your own rules. You know what I mean? Like, whoever said that you had to follow the rules of everybody else? I mean, society, I guess. We were raised that way, right? Conditioned to kind of follow the rules, but, you know, rules of safety and that sort of thing, yes, I understand, but I think sometimes it goes a little too far where we're just not being ourselves because we're trying to follow the rules. And sometimes you just have to follow yourself. You know, that's my advice. It's not always lucrative, you know. It might not be like the way of the world, you know, but I always think of the genie in Aladdin, which I love that movie. I had all those VHS tapes and they're all gone, but I would still love to have Aladdin because that was like, God, we played that so much in our house. My kids loved it, but I love it. I would still watch it today. But one of my favorite things that the genie said is, you know, sometimes with doing the right thing, the thing is with that is sometimes you do it alone. And sometimes the right thing for you is just different than what's right for everybody else or what everyone else would do. So sometimes you just got to start listening to your own voice and stop listening to everybody else's and do what's right for you. You know, so that's kind of my 2 cents on that. Now nope, there's still some spots. I thought I got it all, but there's a little spot there and a little there. And some of this, because it's cardboard, it's gonna absorb, right? So I might have to go over this a couple times and fill in gaps where it absorbed and other colors are shining through. But actually it might be a perfect opportunity for me to add that blue in that I talked about. So far, I like the way it looks. It looks pretty cool, but to add another altering color is gonna add texture to it, and I think I need a little more black paint in order to be able to blend it, because I don't want it to be just like these stark blue colors. I want to be able to blend it in a little bit and just add some texture to it. But so far, I think that looks really cool. You can see the difference between the two, right? Like then it just becomes a roof. Isn't that neat? Instead of just cardboard. Awesome. All right, so I think I'm gonna end this video on that note. And I'm gonna go grab some more paint, and I am probably gonna paint the rest of this stuff, the rest of the roof, and I might come back when I'm gonna add some blue and we'll see what happens with that, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and if there's anything in particular that you wanna see, let me know, okay? But this is gonna be my little art video, and I'm gonna take you with me as I develop this piece. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching, and remember that you can always visit me at my webpage, placeofblisssanctuary.com. Also like and subscribe and hit that bell so you get all the updates when I have them.